Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk about emails. Specifically, I want to review and share my thoughts about this product that I've been using for the past several months, which is called Superhuman. Now I know for a fact that very few people know about Superhuman and even less people are actually using it, and there's a good reason for that. So the way I learned about Superhuman was by listening to a podcast that's called This Week in Startups. And if you're interested in tech or startup industry, you definitely want to listen to that podcast. So on one of the podcasts, there was an interview with the CEO and founder of Superhuman. His name is Rahul Vora. And the guy has years of experience working on the email product of LinkedIn. And he was describing this product that sounded really interesting. And the claims that he was mentioning about the product were like barely believable, because the main goal of Superhuman, according to the interview, was that you could reach inbox 0 twice as faster as in the regular Gmail or Microsoft Outlook. And that sounded really incredible, but is it really true? So I really wanted to try this product out, so I registered it like everybody else on the website, and I got this email back that I'll have to wait until they sort it out. So there's a waiting list for a good reason, because Superhuman does not allow you to start using their service unless you go through this special onboarding call with one of their managers. So the idea is that to take full advantage of all the features and of the product that they built, you have to go through this special onboarding call where the manager will guide you through the interface, will show you like the basic tips and tricks of how to use the product, and essentially get you started and get you in the right kind of mood to enjoy the benefits of the product. So anyways, one of these days I got the email back from some guy, and he had this signature at the bottom sent via Superhuman. So I emailed him back and saying, could you please refer me to Superhuman so I could also use it? And he was kind enough to do that, and I got an invitation, and that was great. But there's one thing I forgot to mention yet. So Superhuman is really great, but there's a price to pay. Yes, Superhuman is not free. It actually costs $30 per month. And it might sound outrageous, like why would anyone pay $30 per month for email service where every other email service is free of charge? But if you're a power user and if you send and receive dozens or sometimes hundreds of emails per day, now that's when their claim of Superhuman that they are twice as faster as a regular email service, that's when it makes sense, because the kind of time savings that you have using Superhuman offsets the cost that you will pay per month on a per month basis. Now, whether or not that's true, that's what I wanted to find out. So that's why I signed up for Superhuman. I went through that onboarding call. It was a really pleasant experience. Their manager was really attentive, and she was basically guiding me through every step of using the basic features of the interface. So it was really exciting. So after I had my onboarding call and I was finally in the Superhuman, I started using it. And to be honest, I have mixed feelings about this so far, because some things are really working great. Some things are kind of like incremental improvements about in comparison to Gmail, for example. But nevertheless, let me jump into it and show you how Superhuman looks and works. And for that, I think I'm gonna get more comfortable now and jump on my laptop. So now let's jump into the Superhuman interface and see what it's all about. So right away, I think you can pretty much agree that it looks much simpler and much straightforward than any other email alternative. It's a more clean, it's a more straightforward interface, and it's just much easier to kind of get all the information in one glance. So what I like about this, first of all, I like the dark theme. That's one of the settings I changed right away when I started using Superhuman. And before I go any further, I must note that in this demo, I'm only using I'm only using keyboard shortcuts. So I'm not using trackpad at any time in this demo. So this is one of the cool things, cool features of Superhuman, that you can use it faster by just using your keyboard. So for example, if you want to pull up search in your inbox, you just press slash on your keyboard. Just a second. There you go. And it pulls up search. You press escape and you go back to your mailbox. Now let's for example search for the name Rahul. He's the CEO of and the founder of Superhuman, like I mentioned, and here you see that I have lots and lots of emails from Rahul. This is back in December when I started using Superhuman, and one of the neat features is that like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, they do this half an hour live video onboarding when you start using the Superhuman. But then every day for a month after you start using Superhuman, you receive this email with a certain tip or an explanation of a certain feature of Superhuman. And I think this also brings a lot of like personal touch, not just because it's an email personally from the CEO, because of course we all understand this is just an automated email, but still, like the way, the straightforwardness and the personal approach that they take, I think it's really very good for user experience. And you see there are lots of emails from Rahul in which he explains how to use certain features like reminders, for example. Let's look at it. This is how the email looks, and it's again, it's a very intuitive, very simple instruction on how to use a particular feature of Superhuman. I think this is a really cool approach, and this is one of the reasons that Superhuman user retention is incredible. I don't know the specific number, but I'm pretty sure that people who sign up for it and who are willing to pay $30 a month, they become their lifelong customers. So here we see, for example, how to use reminders. Let me show you how it works. If you open any email, so what you do basically is you have two options. You can either respond to that email just by pressing enter, and then that pops up your message window. So that's where you type something, you type your response, and then to send your response you just press Ctrl Enter, or you actually have an option built in to send an email later. So to send an email later, you can see that you only need to press Ctrl Shift and L. Let's try and do that. Ctrl Shift L, and then this window pops up where you can actually schedule when your email will be sent. So this is also one of the coolest features of Superhuman. So for example, I want this email to be sent out on, let's say, Monday 9 a.m. because everybody knows that people usually check their email in the morning when they arrive at the office. So for example, I want that email to be on top of the person's inbox, so I want it to be delivered at 9 a.m. on Monday. So I just start typing Monday, and you can see it suggests Monday morning right here. If I continue Monday, for example, I can not only specify Monday morning, I can say Monday 9 a.m. and this, yeah, that's all I need to do. And then I need to hit Ctrl Enter, and the email will be sent to that person on Monday morning at 9 a.m. So this is a really cool feature, but obviously I'm not going to do that. This is just for the purposes of this video. So let me go back, and besides reminders, what you can do is actually you can mark the email as done. So in Superhuman they don't have archive like you have in Gmail. You can mark any email done by just pressing the button E on your keyboard, and that's it. The email will then go into your done folder. So on the left here we have a bigger menu where you can see different different sections of Superhuman. You can find your sent mail, the done folder, which I just talked to you about, your scheduled emails, you have your reminders here, snippets. Of course, you have spam. If you want to compose an email, all you need to do is just press C on your keyboard, and this new message window pops up. Now you can start entering the email address. Obviously, this will pop out your address book. Then you, by pressing tab, you go into the subject line, you type in, and then you go in with your message. Now, once you've done your message, you can actually attach a file by, again, doing a shortcut. For example, in this case, Control-Shift-A, and this pops out this window where I can select a file to attach to my email. And then I also have an option to discard this draft by, again, Control-Shift and comma, draft discarded. Now, one more interesting feature of Superhuman is that, as you can see on the right side of the screen, when I choose any email, I can actually, what Superhuman does is it actually pulls up lots of information available on the center of this email. In this case, I'm looking at the email of Superhuman CEO, and here's lots of information about him on the right side of the screen. Let me just move my head to the left so that you can see better. And it pulls up lots of information from the social media, so I can jump straight away to his LinkedIn profile or to his Facebook page. And this is also, I think, one of the useful features of Superhuman, because once you get an email, you don't have to open it straight away to see who is writing to you and to see lots of information about the person who is writing to you. And now to the most interesting part. Like I mentioned in the beginning, the premise of Superhuman is to make you faster and to make you go through your inbox up to 2 times faster than any regular email service. So right now I have a really messy inbox clutter. So I have actually accumulated quite a huge chain of emails in my mailbox. So right now I'm going to take a break in this video, and I'm just going to go through this mess in my inbox, and I will show you the result and how fast it actually is. So now I've pretty much cleaned my whole inbox, and there were like more than 250 emails, as you've seen. Obviously I haven't responded to any of those emails. I just deleted the ones that I didn't need to read, and I marked some of them done, and then I set reminders for the emails that I need to get back to next week. And now I'm down to only one email, and this is the email I just need to mark done, and I do that by pressing the E button on the keyboard. And this is what happens. This is one of the Easter eggs, or just a cool feature of Superhuman. Once you reach inbox 0, this is how Superhuman congratulates you with that special occasion. And supposedly, if you're using Superhuman, you should be reaching inbox 0 every single day, or as soon or as often as it is possible in your particular scenario. So, anyways, this has been a not very informative but short and kind of personal review of Superhuman. I think this is a really cool email service, and I'm pretty sure that this will gain traction, and this will gain thousands and thousands of more users. Obviously, it will not become probably as global as Gmail or Microsoft Outlook, but for a certain kind of professional, or for a certain kind of person who needs to have who needs to use email all the time, who's responding to dozens and hundreds of emails daily, this is a really good solution. And I've used it for several months, and I'm really happy that I've become a Superhuman user. So I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's really struggling with their inbox. who's really active in sending out emails. So yeah, here it is. Superhuman, the email service that you probably never heard about before. This is how it looks, this is how it works, and thanks for watching this video. See you next time. Cheers.